What's going on, guys, and welcome back to the channel. I know it's been a while since I've done our last upload. It's been about a year since our last video, but we're back. We've taken a bit of a break from YouTube, and we're back with some wheel to wheel. We're now at season 12. We've missed about 4 seasons. Last time we raced was season 8, but we're back for the first round of season 12, and we're at Laguna in the GR4s. A one make series with the Nissan Silvia S15s. And we're at Laguna. So Laguna's a very much a risk and reward track. The sausage curves here are not your friends. You either want to avoid it completely or go over it in a way where your tires don't touch it. Because if you do, you're definitely going to be sent to the desert realm, out on the outside with the sand. And once you're out there, it's going to take over a long time to get back on track. So this is our quali run, braking just between the second and the third braking marker. Try and at least hit one of the apexes. You want to preferably hit the later one, so you get a good run coming through turn 4 here. Keep it in third, try and hit that apex right on the power early, completing our first sector with a 23.5. Coming through that corner there, keep it in 4th gear, a lift and coast that corner, through this corner here, up into 5th preferably, or you can keep it into 4th to try and burn a little bit more fuel. Down into 3rd for that left corner, and coming up to the little kink just before the corkscrew. And this is where you can make or break your lap times. You can either fully commit and pick up like half a second on your lap time, or you can play the long game and play it safe and just go down again to 3rd and just save your get a good banker lap time. But down through the corkscrew, down to 2nd, a quick upshift into 3rd to calm down the rear end, through Rainy Corner into 3rd, up into 4th through 2nd last corner, back down to 3rd. Try and hit that apex. If you hit it nicely, you can really capitalize there and get a really good time. Down to the last corner, braking just before the 200 meter board. Try and go over that curb preferably, or go completely around it. Down to 2nd, up into 3rd, and we come across the finish line around 170 kilometers with a 28.7. That's a pretty good lap time. We did eventually improve on that time a little bit later with a 28.6. That put us into 5th for our first race. So for the first race, it's a 14 lap. It roughly estimates around a 20-minute race is how these races are format. First race is 20 minutes, the second race is half an hour. And we get an okay start here off the grid. We're usually known to be a little bit quicker on our reaction time. Sometimes we just go on hopes and dreams and really ace it. But we were a little bit slower there, but still pretty good. I come down to the technically the real first corner. Around the outside, so very vulnerable to stuff like that happening. Someone inside getting punted, and we're just a victim there. But we managed to find a gap and put ourselves in a really good position, put ourselves up into 3rd. So already by the 4th corner, we've already gone up 2 positions, which is really good. So for this strategy, it was a no-stopper, unless your tyres were absolutely cooked by the 7th or 8th lap. People who would struggle preserving their tyre life would definitely struggle around this track with the way the optimum strategy was set out. So we in 3rd here. We ran a little bit wide coming through the 2nd last corner at the end of the first lap. Made ourselves very vulnerable to Joe and Spence behind us. We held the inside. Joe goes for a nice switch. He gets a really good run coming to the side of his 2nd lap. But we still got Spence behind us. We're going to start our 2nd lap now. And me and him, we're going to have a really good battle later on in the race. Me and him, he's a little bit quicker than me, but I found myself to be a little bit more consistent, and I was able to keep myself ahead of him for this race. But he's right behind us here, and then onto the 3rd lap now. Joe completely forgetting what the pedal in the middle does when you're approaching a corner. Just completely drifted off and went off to the Shadow Realm. That put us up into 3rd place. Then we had Untouchables up ahead. Almost ended up in the pits. He went a little bit wide. Fortunately for him, his car reset just in time, but he did pick up a 3-second penalty. So he did end up having to burn that penalty next time coming around on the main straight. But at the moment, we were drag racing him down to the 1st corner on the 4th lap. We managed to get in front of him. Spence is still behind him, and at this stage we wanted him and Spence to try and back up and hold each other down, give us a bit more breathing room. Ultimately, Untouchables did have to burn that penalty the next lap, but lap 9, me and Spence finally get into a good little battle here. So he was thinking about going on the inside here on Andretti hairpin. We hold the inside out pretty well. The good thing is about this track, some of the corners you can perform a really nice switch on some corners here. So it's not the end of the world if a driver does go up on the inside of you like he does here, because you can just get a better turn in and find yourselves back up side by side for the next corner. So we're coming down to this corner here, again braking at the second marker. He goes on the inside. We're trying to get an undercut here. We just give him a little bit of a bump. That ultimately does kill our momentum before trying to get him moved before the corkscrew. But on to the 10th lap now, and this is where the battle starts to get really interesting. So he's gone a little bit wide here, made himself open the door up for us. So we've gone on the inside here on the power nice and early. He's got the inside line come to the next corner, and like I said before, if he's on the inside, not end of the world. So he's gone out for a really shallow entry, and he's opened the door up for us once again. Nice switchback, and he's gone for a switchback here as well. And he did some really good racing, like a really clean racing. No contact was made at all. Nice clean racing, and this is the type of racing I always aim to do when racing with others. And again, he was side by side before the corkscrew. A little bit of a door bump there. I tried to signal to him that, look, this is my corner. Thankfully we did manage to get enough to the right before having that left kink. With that corner, if you don't get to the right side and quickly enough, you can make yourself very vulnerable and put yourself in a very uncomfortable position where you can risk hitting that curb and getting sent down to the sand. Well, we come to the beginning of the last lap here, and Spencer's still behind us. This battle went on for about 4 laps with a bit of on and off breathing. But he, like I said, he was always on the back of our neck, applying pressure, and he was a very good racer. And me and him are always going to be in future lobbies together, hopefully. So I'm very keen to future battle with him. We did block him a little bit here. I felt like I kind of pushed it a little bit too far in terms of defending. So coming up here, I pulled to the right, giving the inside line at least. Kind of my way of signaling to him that, look, I think I may have pushed the envelope a little bit there. But look, in terms of that, you can have the inside. Coming to the corkscrew here, and we're both going to have a little bit of a mix-up. We're both going to run wide. He's going to come off a lot worse. He went proper into the sand and into the gravel. Thankfully for us, we managed to catch it before it could get any worse. So we netted a second here for our first race of the wheel-to-wheel season. It was pretty good. We started 5th. We went up 3 places, and we were pretty happy with that result. Now onto the second race, and this is, like I said before, the 30-minute race. So this race goes on for 20 laps. There were multiple strategies for this race. You could do a no stopper on softs, and if you could, all the power to you. There was also the one stopper, whether you start on softs or mediums and then switch over to the other tyre for your second run. The soft tyres were mandatory for both first and second race. Joe, I think, got sent himself into one of the other drivers there, who unfortunately had a really bad start, ended up going sideways through the dirt and spun out. So we were into 5th place prematurely. Big Daddy Dal catching a bit of the outside before hitting the braking, running himself wide. And like I said before, we went for the one-stop strategy on softs, and then for another run of softs. So he came in end of lap 10. Myself and Untouchables, who's currently first, did also end up pitting in this race. And you'll see later on at the end why it's really good to have a good amount of pace and some conservative tyre wear for a race setup like this. But this was a pretty long and boring race. Nothing much happened. We're kind of in our own little world, just trying to make the tyres work and try and close the gap. Ultimately, Untouchables, like I said before, he ended up going for a pit stop. Spence and Mad Racer didn't, and that made themselves very vulnerable to getting passed by Untouchables, which he ended up doing so. He got them at the last lap, I think with about half a lap to go. So credit to him, he did really well there. We managed to take whatever we could. We knew coming to this lobby we were going to be around the 4th best. We were kind of lucky to come second in the first race, but I think ultimately 4th was our best result and more realistic result for us. But if you guys enjoyed the video, be sure to leave a like, comment down below, subscribe to the channel if you are new, and I shall catch you guys in the next one.